Well, welcome back. You're tuning into Financial Fitness Northwest live on 1150 KKNW. We try to provide our listeners with local charities and businesses to hopefully bring solutions to your daily life and provide you with opportunities to give back to your community as well. So in studio now, we have Briana Nettleton. She's the co-founder and vice president of Footprints of Fight. She grew up in Kirkland, Bellevue area, and graduated from Lake Washington High School and is a graduate of Northwest University. Her faith and love for the Lord is very important to her and the foundation to everything in her life. Briana is a mother of 3, Bailey, 8, Mason, 6, and Brooklyn, 1.5. She's a wife of 12 years to her awesome husband, Jake. Sports are the way of life in their house. Both Briana and her husband played college basketball, and she also coached in high school and college. Before her son's battle with cancer, she was a passionate participant in the breast cancer 3-day walk for 9 years. Is that right? 9 years? Mm-hmm. She raised over $300,000 in hopes for a cure and more awareness for breast cancer. Briana is a photographer and owns her own photography business, specializing in family photos. So welcome.
Hi, how are you?
Good. You're so multi-talented.
Oh, it's only 30,000 with the breast cancer.
What did I say?
300.
Oh, I added a 0.
Okay.
Sorry. 30. Yeah, I mean, gosh, you guys are sports and photo and in this charity, which I met you from. You came to Caliber.
Yes.
Right? And you have a relative that works there.
I
right?
do, Rachel Burrell.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so you came and talked at one of our sales meetings and, of course, brought me to tears. It was so amazing what you guys are doing. So I guess, first off, just share with us, what is Footprints of Fight?
Footprints of Fight is a nonprofit organization, and we focus on providing services to the family once they get the news that their child has been diagnosed with cancer.
Okay.
When my son was diagnosed, which was 2 years ago, we felt like, first of all, our world had come crashing down.
Of course.
We had no clue, just what the next steps were going to be. So when we left the hospital, you get home with this binder, and it tells you kind of just the next steps of what your life's going to look like for the next year, 5 years, hopefully 10 years. And we had so many amazing people step up around us, our community, our friends, and our family, and we kind of felt like we were just being lifted in this process, and we felt like everyone needed to feel like that. So I had a friend whose family sent us a house cleaner.
Wow.
And I had never had a house cleaner.
Yeah.
And I don't like cleaning my house when I have healthy children, let alone cleaning my house when I have a sick child.
Yes.
So that was kind of the first thing my husband and I said was everyone needs this. Mm-hmm. So when we started Footprints of Fight, that was kind of one of the things that it was built on was we wanted these families that when they left the hospital, that we were going to do the little things to help eliminate everyday stress. So Footprints of Fight, one of the services we provide is a professional house cleaner to their house every other week during the treatment process for these families.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I don't like cleaning my toilets, let alone trying to make sure my toilet is clean enough to have my child throw up in it. So that we provide the house cleaner. Every family gets a AAA membership, which is another, you're driving back and forth. And so being able to eliminate just that stress, not everyone has AAA. So AAA has been kind enough to help. That's one of our partnerships. They provide a AAA membership. We provide gas cards to offset the extra trips to the hospital. Just yesterday, I drove to the hospital from where we live in Maple Valley, Covington, and I filled my tank up before I left and after, and it was $10 just for one trip to and from Children's Hospital.
Yeah.
So our goal is to try to offset and help with the gas, provide grocery cards.
Okay.
Another service we provide some of the families, we do a survey to kind of see, what services will fit for each family. So each family is completely different. And having an older child, I had an older child as well as my son who was going through it. And the older child sometimes gets neglected because you're giving so much attention to the child who's sick, and rightfully so. So some of these families don't have family around to provide childcare for their other kids so they can provide time with their sibling who's not sick. So we've provided some gift cards with Urban Sitter, because Urban Sitter actually, you can get a nurse, or you can pick your babysitter, and some babysitters have nursing credentials. And so the goal with doing that would be to give the family time to go out maybe on a date with their child who's not sick, and maybe leave their sick kid, if they're well enough, behind, so they can, keep their family intact. I think curing cancer and making sure that your child gets better is such a huge thing. But if you can't survive the experience as a family and you come out tattered like you just went through war, then really it's just as detrimental to your family as not surviving the cancer. And that's kind of our goal, is to help these families get through the cancer, get through healthy, but also get through in one piece as a family.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, I'm going to have a hard time not crying. You're like, I'm struggling right now. It's like, so can you tell us, a little bit about Mason's story, your son?
Yeah. So Mason is, if anyone has ever met Mason, he is an Energizer bunny. And now looking back, I'm like, wow, he was an Energizer bunny living with a huge tumor in his body. Wow. So now he's even crazier. We perfectly healthy child. So we thought, we had been out of town. We were in Chelan with our family who was visiting from Minnesota. We were playing in the pool. Everything was great. We came home. We had gone to the Pacific Raceways with the family, just a fun activity. And Mason calls me in another room, and he goes, Mom, you've got to see this. Any kid with a toddler knows, okay, do I go in there and see what he's talking about, or do I? So I ran in, and to my surprise, the toilet was full of blood.
Oh, my gosh.
I surprisingly didn't freak out like maybe I should have. I actually thought it was my husband's fault, of course. Thought he had thrown him in the pool and maybe bruised a kidney.
Oh.
So we took him in. This was on a Thursday. By Friday night, we were checked into the Seattle Seattle Children's in the cancer care unit. Monday, he had his kidney removed and port placed and started chemotherapy on Friday. Wow. So it was a whirlwind. Again, no other signs other than the blood in the toilet. We made it through 7 months of chemo. Actually, he did great. He played soccer on Saturdays.
Wow.
He pushed through. We didn't really have too many crazy hiccups. We really feel blessed, but we definitely felt the whole time that there was a purpose in him, in his journey, and we're kind of living that out right now as a family, and we definitely feel like through Mason's trials, we're able to help some other families get through it.
That's so amazing. And so Mason's doing well now, right?
He's doing great. He's about 2 years, maybe not 2 years. Anyways, he's considered NED, which is no evidence of disease. I don't really consider him to be cancer-free until 5 years.
Oh, really? Okay. Wow. Well, I'm so glad he's doing well. I saw little pictures of him. He's just like huge smile and everything, right?
He's passionate about whatever he does.
Oh, my gosh. So there's other things you guys do besides those services that you mentioned, right? That's like on the big scale, what you do for families, but just can you talk about like when someone shows up at the hospital, how it is like for the family member and what you guys do, like those little gift?
Oh, yeah, that was at Christmas time. We had a lot of the holiday time. We collect bags and we collect a ton of toys, which was awesome. Caliber teamed up with us, which is great. But one of the big things we collect is when the families are placed in this position, you're in a children's hospital. The parents stay. Obviously, you don't normally leave your child. And it's a children's hospital, so everything is kind of geared towards the child.
Right.
And we found out really quick that the towels were children's-sized towels. When you go to take a shower, it's like a little loincloth. So at Christmas, at the holiday time, we collected, we put these bags together for the families. And in each bag, there was an adult-sized bath towel, brand new bath towel. And we did a mason jar, which we've done the last 3 years. And that's kind of our little way of putting mason into these bags. And in the mason jar, shampoo, conditioner, soap. Some of them have razor. They all have a $5 to $10 gift card to Starbucks, because at Seattle Children's there's 3 Starbucks. So that kind of is your one little piece of normalcy.
Yeah.
They have a notebook and toothbrush, toothpaste, floss, all the kind of things that you don't necessarily think when you leave to take your kid to the hospital. I'm going to be stuck there for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. These things that you might not necessarily bring.
Right, that will come in handy.
Yeah.
That's so nice. So let's talk about, how many families do you guys currently serving, and what's your guys' goal for this year?
Awesome. Our goal for the year is to serve about 25 to 30 families, which is a big goal, but
that's a lot.
We have confidence we will be able to serve that. Unfortunately, there's about 300 families in the state of Washington going through pediatric cancer right now, receiving treatment. So we have a lot of room for improvements here, but we're currently serving about 16 families. So we have 16 families that are receiving these services.
Okay.
And we get the referrals from, we're serving 3 hospitals. So Seattle Children's is our main hospital that we started with, because that's where we were treated.
Right.
Mary Bridge in Tacoma, and then Sacred Heart in Spokane.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we get the referrals from people can either go online on our website and apply as, that they need support, or we've teamed up with a lot of these social workers who it's awesome because they're really letting us know the families that could really use our support are in the most need.
Okay.
Yep.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow. So, so how long is the process like for a family? Like, let's say they are interested in getting support. Is it like they just apply through the website and then you guys evaluate the need, or?
Yeah. So there's some questions we ask. We want to know, obviously, try to figure out how long their treatment process is so we can figure out how long we're going to be providing services. What services would be, on a scale of 1 to 10, which services do you need the most? Is keeping your house clean? Is that something that's really stressing you out? You have a very immunosuppressed child, and cleanliness is, the number one need. Or is gas your number one need? We kind of figure it out and we go through the process, and it's not a very long process. We have, we talk to the family. We want to be invested in them emotionally, just kind of the same way you mentioned. We want to, be praying for this family. We want our donors we introduce a lot of these families on our Facebook page and our website, because we felt like when we were going through it, people were fully not only invested financially in our family, but, it's a child that's sick. So you want to pray for them. You want to know how they're doing. You want to see their ups and downs and you want to see how they're doing. So that's kind of our goal too, is to kind of put a face with the donation. So you're not just giving money to an organization and, hoping it's going to good. You can physically see we're celebrating these kids in their last days of chemotherapy. We're showing pictures when they're going to their first Rotary dance, even though they have no hair, but this wonderful child is going and still being a teenager. And, it's through things that we're hopefully able to help provide with their families that are helping give them the strength to go do these things.
Oh my gosh. So amazing. So how are you getting the donors? Like, are you fundraising, or do you have events, or how do you guys have your donors right now?
So far, we've had some awesome big businesses, jump behind us locally.
Oh, good.
Excel Real Estate's been awesome. Eagle Creek has been awesome. Jersey Mike's, some really generous people. And we've got a lot of just families, people and stepping up. And we have where you can donate monthly.
Yep.
That's been great. And then we have some events coming up. We have a big golf tournament, which will be August 17th, and it's going to be this year at Washington National.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so we're really excited about that. We've got some meetings coming up to kind of nail down
You have to keep me informed about that, because I'm sure my husband would love to do that.
Absolutely. And then actually there's 16 climbers coming from across the country to climb Mount Rainier.
Oh. 2
of our board members, my husband included, are avid climbers, and so they are leading a team with RMI up Mount Rainier from all over the country. And they've so far raised about $20,000. Each climber is committed to raising, not only paying for their climb, but committed to raising $1,000. And so far, most of them have raised well over $1,000. So it's really awesome.
That is really awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy. So you're not climbing? You're not a climber?
I am not climbing. I will stand on the, nope.
No?
Definitely not a climber. That's not my thing. I think I complain the whole way up, and then I get to the top of a hike and I'm like, okay, let's do it again.
Really?
But no, I'm not a climber.
No. Okay.
Nope.
So, you talked about these families and, helping them while their kids are going through cancer, and how long you're supporting them. What is the average time that you do support a family?
Around 6 months to a year.
Oh, really?
Is kind of our average support.
Wow.
I kind of, being in that journey, I had seen a lot of families spend all this time applying with foundations, there's so many awesome foundations out there, but sometimes they'd spend all this time applying and they'd get like a one hit, like here's a gift card, and our goal is kind of to carry these families through for a long period of time, so they don't have to spend their time filling out applications, waiting in the process. So our goal is to do it as long, for their treatment process. So we'd love to get these families the minute they get home from the hospital and take them through to their last chemotherapy. Obviously, there's not cut and dry to every situation, but that's our goal. And that's kind of where we've been so far is, we're right now in the process of celebrating a couple of kids' last chemotherapies and the fact that they're cancer-free and moving on to, we're happy to say, good job. You're always going to be part of our family, but, it's helping. We're going to get another family on board and help somebody else. So it's been definitely humbling, but it's totally worth every minute of it. It's
I can only imagine. How long have you guys been in business, or have you had this charity?
Well, It's a good question because we got our 501c3. I think my daughter's 18 months. So I was telling him earlier that we pretty much got our approval. She was 6 weeks old. So it's kind of, I have two babies, Footprints of Fight and my baby. So about 18 months. We've been actively serving, you know, because we did the fundraising part for a while. On Belmont Cabinets is also one of our big donors. So I was thinking about that. They were an early on donor. But yes, about 18 months. So we've actively been serving families for about 15 months, I think. Mm-hmm.
Wow. You guys have really gotten up and running pretty quickly. Yeah. I mean, how many you're serving, what do you say, 16 families right now?
Yeah. It's happened really quick. And the families have been, I think, because we've been able to kind of, you know, we've been there. We know what it's like, and it's kind of like that's our thing. So it's been awesome, and we're in a unique space. There's not too many foundations providing these types of services as a whole. So I think that that's been really helpful to families and donors alike, being able to kind of put these faces to their money, know that, you know, mostly all of the money is going directly to these families, and we're working really hard to bring on more. So
that's amazing. I know being emotionally connected to the kids going through the treatment and the families, I mean, that's like the biggest thing, I think, for people. You're not just giving to just some big charity. You know exactly who you're helping benefit and change their lives. So thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
I'm going to have you back to share some more, like, you know, success stories and cool things you guys are doing.
Absolutely. We appreciate it.
Yeah, really. You guys are just, it blows my mind. I sat down and had coffee with you, and I left like, oh gosh, you're just such an amazing giving person.
You're so sweet.
Well, thank you guys all for tuning in to Financial Fitness. If you want to find out any information about Briana and Footprints for Fight, you can look on our website. We're going to have the link there so you can donate. So please check it out. When we come back from commercial, I'm going to be doing our Riley Johnson Team Market Update. So tune in.